Hello, we will be discussing your solution to one of the questions that you answered during the assessment. Can you explain your thought process behind the code you wrote?
Yeah, I can explain that. The process I had that every time whenever I fetch uh, I created the use state in which I will store the data whatever I am going to fetch, and after fetching all the data, I have implemented use effect which will fetch which will be called one time, and in that I have added the set interval which will run every 10 second, and every 10 second it will fetch the data which through the API is provided by the API routing.
I appreciate your explanation. Just to clarify, you mentioned using set interval to fetch data every 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Can you tell me why you chose set interval over other methods, like using set timeout?
because set interval is running on an interval time, and it will continue every interval it will run, while the set timeout will run only one time after the some time whichever the time I will pass into the timeout.
Got it. So you prefer set interval for continuous fetching.
Yeah,
Now, can you explain how you handle the cleanup of the interval when the component unmounts?
yeah, I will write the return statement after in use effective if, and it will clean up all the unmount all the unrequired head component या code if you ask me.
That makes sense. So you would return a cleaning up function in the use effect.
Yeah,
Can you elaborate on what that cleanup function would look like?
return it will look like return, and after that the what you say arrow function or in which will be cleaning return arrow function cleaning all the data or yeah, what you say anything that you are fetching if you ask me.
I see you're on the right track. Just to clarify, when you say return one off, are you referring to clearing the interval using clear interval? How would you implement that in your cleanup function?
So I will after return I will clear interval. I will call the clear interval. Like after return statement, I will write the clear interval, and in which I will write the what you say if API better through which function which I was calling.
Wait, got it. So you would call clear interval in the cleanup function to stop the interval when the component unmounts.
Yeah,
That's important for preventing memory leaks.
yeah, yeah.
Now, can you great. Can you tell me how you would handle any potential errors that might occur when fetching data from the API?
So I will try. I will use try and catch, in which if the API is faced successfully, then it will set that it will run in the try only. If any error comes, then it will go to catch, and there only I will get the error, and I will check the whatever the console log and check the error whatever the error is coming.
That sounds like a solid approach. So, you would use a try catch block to handle errors.
Yeah.
Would you also consider displaying an error message to the user if the fetch fails?
Yes, sometime I will try to like if the user is not logging, I will try to show him. Uh, but when it is not required for him to know the what is the reason, so I will not appropriately show him every error, because that is not a good approach for anyone to show. Only required thing part for the user to know is that it is not logging. There, whatever the issue is coming, so that they should know only that part I will show.
That's a thoughtful approach. Keeping the user informed without overwhelming them is key. Just one last question. How would you ensure that the data displayed in the UI is updated correctly with the new data fetched from the API?
I will use a static hook to update the new data fetched from the API. So it will re-render automatically rather than
Sounds good. So, you're relying on React state management to trigger a re-render when the data updates.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing your thought process. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask.
So what VIR soft tech what does it do?
This is just an extended part of the interview process to dive deeper into your responses. If you have any other questions about the role or the company, I'd be
Yeah,
happy to help.
yeah. What is I would love to know about the role and the company too.
I can't provide specific details about the role right now, but I can tell you that it involves working on exciting projects and collaborating with a talented team. If you have any specific questions about the skills or technologies used, I can help with that.
So, like, is companies product based or service based?
The company is product based, focusing on developing innovative solutions for health and wellness. If you have more questions about the company culture or projects, feel free to ask.
No, nothing right now. I have to ask. That's